Welcome to a live edition of the Brian Murray Show. In today's show, I typically tape the show, and I'm going to do that as well, just to have it up on my website and that kind of thing. But I'm actually shooting a live version of the show right now, so welcome Facebook. So the Brian Murray Show. On today's Brian Murray Show, market stats, the two biggest lies. Hot topic is always these times, how's the market? Hoboken, Jersey City, what's new, what's different, what's important to know? The good, the bad, the ugly, Thanksgiving edition. So welcome to the Brian Murray Show, a real estate show, New Jersey style. I'm Brian Murray, and today's discussion point is market stats, the two biggest lies. Number one, months of inventory. When people ask, is it a buyer's market, is it a seller's market, what they really mean is months of inventory. Traditionally, months of inventory takes the number of sales that you've had in a given period and divide it by the number of available homes, and whatever that comes out for, how long would it take to sell at this sale rate to sell out all of the homes on the market. So let's say in the last 30 days there were 100 sales and there's currently 400 homes for sale. That would be 4 months of inventory. A neutral market is somewhere typically 5 to 6 months of inventory. A buyer's market is 1 to 3, a seller's market is 1 to 3, and a buyer's market is typically more than 6 months of inventory. But when you look at months of inventory based on sold properties, you're missing the market. Those sold properties are 60 days ago. A lot of times, especially now in the COVID times, it takes about 60 days from contract to sale. So what you're looking at isn't real months of inventory. It's a stat that doesn't have any real-time data to it. If you want a better stat, you would look at under contracts to availables, because that's really going to give you a much more compressed look. If you look at the under contracts homes that people have signed for the last 30 days and you compare that to the available inventory, that will give you a much better look-see in terms of what the market volatility really is. You could go down all the way to a week's worth of inventory, but then the numbers start to get very dependent on, hey, what week was it? Because right now we're looking at Thanksgiving week, and it's very likely that the number of contracts during Thanksgiving week will be less than last week and less than next week, because you lose some days. You lose Thanksgiving, nobody's writing contracts on Thanksgiving. And in a traditional market, you're basically losing the day before Thanksgiving because a lot of people are traveling or prepping their meals. You lose the weekend after for Black Friday, for family time. I mean, COVID might be slightly different, but I don't really think that that's going to be the case, and we'll look at those numbers next week. So I would definitely use a month worth of inventory for that. And then the second misleading statistic when it comes to real estate is days on market. Everybody wants to know, well, how long has that been on the market? Now they're kind of it's almost like a bunch of it's sheeple is what I call them. They like to follow the crowd. Well, if it's sitting for 50 or 60 or 80 days, well, it must mean that nobody else wants it, or there's something wrong with it. I hear that all the time. There's something wrong with it. Maybe. But maybe it's really the price, or maybe it was on the market for 60 days and they just reduced the price. So now it's on the market for 61 days, but they reduced the price by 7 to 10%, and now it's really competitive within the marketplace. And so somebody who's going to look at the days of market and discount it is going to miss out on that property. Or someone who's going to look at the days on the market and say, oh, well, it's been on there for 61 days. I'll offer 5% less than already the reduced price. Sellers, it's a non-starter. So those two stats, the months of inventory and the days on market, are two statistics that you really need to have a pro explain what's happening in the market. Today's hot topic is how's the market. Every week we cover how's the Hoboken, how's the Jersey City market. Right now, as predicted, there are some things going on as we kind of come towards Thanksgiving and the end of the year. Let's start with the Hoboken market. There are 336 condos available, and that is slowly decreasing over week by week by week. A little bit of that is attrition, sellers taking their homes off the market, deciding to rent, deciding to hold, maybe deciding to relist after Thanksgiving. But we have 7 homes on, in the last 7 days we have 25 homes on the market in Hoboken. And that's not really surprising because the market is starting to slow down for people who are selling their homes. In the last 30 days, it's 103. So that means that there are 233 homes that have been on the market for 30 days or more. Under contract, the days of market for homes that are under contract in the last 30 days is only 38 days. So there's 233 homes that are really either approaching that average days on market or shooting way past it. So what is that really telling you? That, hey, there's a lot of inventory out there that is likely going to be pretty stale, and I'm going to be looking either for price reductions or already have had some price reductions or going to be taken off the market because it can't just sit there forever. Under contracts in the last 30 days, there were 58, so this market is definitely slowing down to the point where, you know, that boost we had in the August, September, October time frame is really gone now. We're kind of getting into December, January, which are traditional, February, which are traditionally the lower months of contracts. But given COVID, all bets are off there. Sold in the last 30 days is 78. And this is really where I want to go back to the last conversation that we had in the discussion point. If I looked at months of inventory based on sold property, I would take the 336 active, or I would take the 78 sold, divided it by the 336 actives, and that would give me roughly 4.5 months of inventory. So I'd be looking at, hey, it's still a little bit of a seller's market kind of going into a neutral market. But if I look at the under contracts based on what's available, I am looking at 6 months of inventory. So I went from 4.5 to 6 months of inventory like that. So now I am very much in a neutral / buyer's market. It's a mentality that when you work with a professional, when you're trying to negotiate a home, when you're trying to look at the opportunities, whether you're a seller or a buyer, you have to really have this real-time data and not false data. And then the discount price for what actually did sell was about 2%, 1.9% in Hoboken. Jersey City, on the other hand, if you want to look at those numbers, 306 available, does not include some of the big buildings there that have a lot of shadow inventory. In the last 7 days, 19 on the market. In the last 30 days, 69 on the market. So definitely a little bit of a slowdown in what's on the market. The under contracts in the last 30 days is 45 homes under contract. So if you look at that as a part of the overall actives, you're still at 7 months of inventory. And these numbers, in the inventory numbers in Hoboken and Jersey City, basically kind of slow down. So the under contracts are really slowing down too. The days on market for those under contract are 45. So you really have to understand that it's taking a little bit longer, but again, in Jersey City, there are 240 or so condos that are more than 30 days on the market. It's starting to get up there. Sold in the last 30 days is 52 homes, and the discount rate is about 2.8%. So the market stats are really, really different when it starts to come to, hey, what's a neutral versus what's a seller's or a buyer's market. And in Jersey City, I want a big asterisk there that there's a lot of new construction that's kind of hidden there that doesn't show up on the MLS. 99 Hudson is a perfect example of hundreds and hundreds of homes that aren't on the MLS, but are available. There are new construction projects in the works, significant in downtown Jersey City, that aren't really the same in Hoboken right now. So this market, you have to kind of really understand the underlying pinnings of it to get a good sense. So that was today's hot topic. And now we go to the good, the bad, the ugly, which I like to talk as the good, the bad, the grateful for Thanksgiving week. So the good is that COVID didn't cancel Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving might be a little different this year, but you still get turkey. All the turkeys didn't die. All the cranberry sauce didn't, you have a plague and you can't get any, and it's not like toilet paper in March. So you can have Thanksgiving turkey, you can have cranberry sauce. As of this day, Tuesday, November 24th, you can still have some football. So there will be some things that are the same, and there'll be some things that are different. Look at it, I think you look at it as an opportunity. Maybe you don't have to spend time with your in-laws if you didn't want to. So there are some positives that could come from it. Look at it as an opportunity to do something different, enjoy something in a different way. So that's the good. The bad is, that I'm not seeing as many food drives right now. Traditionally this time of year is really where you're going to focus on. I know a few of my colleagues, they do these big food drives for homeless or families in need, and you're just not seeing that. And maybe it's because it's not so much that people don't want to give, it's that people don't want to connect as much, and people don't want to interact, or maybe they're at risk and that kind of thing. So I think that some of the folks that are suffering are going to suffer, are not going to have that maybe safety net this year that they did in the past. And then the grateful is that no matter what happens in 2020, no matter what happens to Thanksgiving in 2020, we still have the opportunity to be better today than we were yesterday. I personally have the opportunity to be better today, to serve my clients better today than I did yesterday. At this time of the year, on Tuesday, today, I would normally do this big pie party where I'd invite all my clients over to my home for wine and cheese and some food, and I'd give them this big pie to take home for Thanksgiving or to take wherever they're going, just as a way to say thank you to my clients. This year, there's no party. So, in fact, there's not even really pies. I'm doing a special wine because I think that the pies usually feed about 20 people, and a lot of people aren't getting together. So a bottle of wine is the way I'm kind of handling that this year. I look forward to seeing everybody next year and giving away double the amount of pies I normally give out, because I think it's really important. So I'm going to leave you with one quote from Lucy Van Pelt about to hopefully make your Thanksgiving a little brighter. And it's, we've got another holiday to worry about. It seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us. And I haven't even finished eating all of my Halloween candy yet. Is that a perfect COVID 2020 quote or not? It's like you go from one holiday to the next. True story, I put up my tree last week. Most of the time it's after Thanksgiving. This year it was 10 days before Thanksgiving. We're just mixing the holidays. Whatever comes. Who knows what's going to be next? Maybe we'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day in a couple of weeks. Who knows? Anyway, this has been the Brian Murray Show. Thank you so much for watching. As always, all episodes of the Brian Murray Show can be viewed online at themurraypropertygroup.com in my blog section. I do appreciate any likes that you can give me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Share my video. Let people know that it's out here. I do the market report every week. I do appreciate everything that you do to support my show. And as always, if there's anything in the show that you disagreed with, please reach out to me directly, and I'll show you why you're wrong. Thanks for watching.